Hey guys, and welcome back to Rosie Wrestling. I'm Massa.
And I'm Safe.
And today we have our Wrestlemania review. Wrestlemania had a lot of mixed emotions. A lot of stuff went down. So we're going to try our best to be able to break it down for you guys.
But as for the TakeOver review that we did promise, if you guys still want us to do that, we will put it out there. But there wasn't really a lot of time between TakeOver and Mania for us to record, edit, and upload the event because it's only just two of us. I know a lot of other wrestling channels, there's like a bunch of people, so they can put up the video a lot easier. But like I said, if you guys still want us to do that review, we will do it for you. But today we're just going to be dissecting Wrestlemania and only Wrestlemania.
Okay, so the first match, and we're going to keep the pre-show, and the first match is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. What did you think of this match overall?
There was no surprise entrance or anything like that, except Bray Wyatt, who came out. And overall, I thought this was a positive point of the show. Matt Hardy did win, which I felt like that was a good victory for him. It's not going to do anything for him, but at least he gets a win at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I really wish that they would actually have a reward, maybe like a mid-card title opportunity if they win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, I was honestly really pissed off when I saw Bray Wyatt because I was just like so over this whole Bray Wyatt Matt Hardy thing, and I wanted Bray Wyatt to leave for a little bit. But you know, they end up actually working together, and Bray wasn't actually in the match. He was just helping Matt, and it looks like this is going to be the new tag team moving on, which I honestly think is a positive thing. Bray is finally a babyface, which is something that I wanted for a long time. And this could be something new, and at the same time, he thrived when he was with the Wyatt family. So here, I think working with somebody else could help reinvigorate his career.
Right, so the next match we have also on the pre-show is for the Cruiserweight Championship, and it's vacant at this point, and we have Mustafa Ali going against Cedric Alexander. Now for me, I thought this was a pretty good match. I thought it was actually I thought it was good. I wish it got a little bit more time, especially that it was on the pre-show. I feel like they're not really tight for time on the pre-show. And Cedric Alexander won. What did you think about him picking up this victory?
I thought it was pretty predictable, but I mean, this whole event, there's a lot of unpredictable things that happen, so I don't have a problem with it. Cedric is a good star of the Cruiserweight division. And as for this match, I did enjoy it. Like I said, like you said, it should have gotten more time because you have 2 hours on the pre-show with 3 matches, and you don't the matches don't go that long.
Right, especially the Battle Royals. They aren't supposed to be that long anyway.
Exactly. So this match could have probably gotten 8 to 10 more minutes, to be honest with you, because the whole panel thing, does anyone really pay attention during that? No one really cares that much.
So now we have the next Battle Royal, which is the first ever kind of women's Battle Royal. And for this match, it was kind of cool to see the NXT stars, in the first Battle Royal. Again, I was expecting some NXT talent, but there wasn't any. And what did you think about this match overall?
I did like the whole element of NXT versus WWE people. So that was pretty cool. But at the end, it came down to Sasha and Bayley, and Bayley's the one who eliminated Sasha. That was, what I expected, but then Naomi came in. She wasn't eliminated, but they didn't really show her not being eliminated. I don't even remember her
mentioned that, these girls are not eliminated, but then Natalya actually got eliminated.
I do remember there was, an advert in the middle of it, and then, we missed, I don't know.
Kairi Sane got eliminated in that. It was kind of odd.
Yeah, so I think the whole execution of it was poor, but as for Naomi as the winner, I do think it makes sense. Naomi is, for me, one of the most underrated women on the roster. So
finally, for the main show, we have, for the IC title, Miz defending his Intercontinental Championship against Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. What did you think about this match?
I thought, we did agree that this should be the opener for the card, and it was that's exactly what they did, and it was the perfect opener. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. It was one of the best matches on the card for me. Seth Rollins and Finn are two guys that I'm not huge fans of, but they've really grown on me over the past few months. And Miz, obviously, I'm a huge Miz mark. This guy is seriously one of the best in the company, if not in the world.
He deserves so much.
Exactly, and I do think he deserves a Universal title run. But also Miz, he's kind of been acting more babyface because you see him on Raw when he was on commentary last week. He was, he had a lot of good things to say about the competitors, and
gushing about his new baby girl.
Yeah, and he told here in his entrance, he told the Miztourage to stay back, kind of a babyface move. So I don't know what direction they're going in with Miz. I know he's a fantastic heel, and his babyface run, that whole thing with Ric Flair, didn't work out. But maybe here a second time, because now he's just so loved by the audience.
Right.
Maybe it could work. So we'll see what happens with that. But as for this match, like I said, fantastic match. And having Seth win is, I thought it was logical. I thought Finn was going to win, but I honestly was okay with anyone winning this match.
Right. All of these 3 competitors are extremely talented, and they will keep the prestige of the Intercontinental Championship. I thought this match was really fast-paced, and it really needed to be. It was a really hot start. It really got us excited for Mania, and the first few matches were definitely like that.
And Seth Rollins' entrance, by the way, was fantastic. Yeah. As a huge Game of Thrones fan myself, him doing the whole Night's King gimmick and like those blue eyes, that was awesome. Finn had that whole LGBTQ entrance, was pretty cool, and then Miz looking like the movie star he is.
Right.
So I thought
it kind of got me shades of like old Miz, like when he was doing the dirt sheets with John Morrison. I kind of like that with the spiky hair and the bandana. But yeah, all of the entrances were really cool.
It felt like a WrestleMania.
Yeah. So next we have Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Now this had us all shook. It was a good match. I thought this was probably...
It was a fantastic match.
It was a fantastic match. I think this is the greatest females match in WrestleMania history.
Easy.
It was, Charlotte's entrance was amazing. It felt, again, like a WrestleMania. But what went down in the end, we had Charlotte put in the figure 8 and Asuka tapping out. Like, I would have never guessed her streak would have been broken like that. And so early. What did you think about that decision?
I thought it was the wrong decision. A lot of people are okay with it because they're big fans of Charlotte. I myself am a big fan of Charlotte.
Right, yeah.
But it doesn't make sense for Asuka to lose her streak to someone who's not going to gain anything. Charlotte is already a big star. And I would have also been against Ronda Rousey breaking the streak.
Right.
It should have been someone from NXT or one of the women that, isn't quite up there quite yet. Having Asuka lose her streak before she even wins the women's title.
Right. I feel like it was way too early for her. She still has so much that she can accomplish. I don't know what they're going to do with her now. Like, she's still a threat, of course, but I don't know. Maybe is she going to start losing a lot and then, regain her wins? I don't know. Maybe she's going to take a break. She was...
I think she needs to win the title immediately.
I think she needs to win a title. I think... it kind of disappointed me. The match was really good, which kind of made up for it. But, I heard they wanted to make Charlotte, the woman of the company. But also, she already is. Like, she doesn't need that.
This was a fantastic match. And earlier, I was thinking in my head, this is the match of the night. But because of the booking option, I'm going to take that away. I don't think it was the match of the night because the winners and losers do matter. Don't listen to anyone who says otherwise. They do matter. And Charlotte shouldn't have went over here.
And also, New Orleans has a really bad rep with streaks.
Yeah,
Just say that.
They never host at WrestleMania.
Please don't. Okay, so next we have kind of a forgettable match. It is Rusev, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, who's the U.S. champion. What did you think about this? I thought it wasn't that good.
Forgettable. The 3 IC guys from Raw did so much better than these guys. And Rusev should have went over.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of people are giving hate on Jinder, but... Hey, honestly, Jinder was the second best option. Randy and Bobby have literally done nothing in this feud, excuse me.
Randy doesn't even, want to be there. And you could tell he was kind of late. He, barely did anything in the match. Got, hit once and then, left.
He tried to do some RKOs. Even his entrance was, it felt like it was rushed. He was, running to the ring, just wanted to leave. Bobby, like I said, he's been a still babyface. But adding Rusev to the match means that he needed to win. Any match that Rusev was in at WrestleMania, he needed to win. So originally, if he was going to be in the Battle Royal, he needed to win that. Here in the U.S. title match, he needed to win that. But Jinder, I am still looking forward to Jinder's reign because I do really rate Jinder. He's one of the best heels right now. But
truly hated.
As for Rusev, he needs to leave WWE because they're not treating him like the star he is. And if by SummerSlam he's not in the main event on SmackDown or on Raw, he needs to take his talents elsewhere because I'm telling you this right now. There's a certain club in Japan that I think he would fit perfectly in. And I could just see the Rusev Club shirts selling out like crazy. So if I was Rusev, I would take him and Aiden English and Lana and leave the company because he's so much better than this.
And he also lost on Rusev Day, which sucks. Next, we have a really surprising match, which was a mixed tag between Triple H and Stephanie versus Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. Right when Ronda Rousey got tagged in, my respect from here went all the way up here. She exceeded my expectations. I was personally not extremely excited for this match. The thing I was really excited for was Kurt and the ankle lock. I was kind of scared. Ronda's new and she's green. I'm not going to blame her for this. But right when she stepped in, I don't know.
It was the hottest tag in WrestleMania history. This match, for me, was match of the night.
Match of the night.
Kurt Angle coming out in singlet. Classic vintage Kurt Angle. coming out. Triple H and Stephanie were fantastic. They were playing their roles perfectly.
And Stephanie's pleading. I just want to say, like, a lot of people are giving a lot of credit to Ronda Rousey, but I feel like Stephanie's pleading and her heel character really did help. So did Triple H, and I feel like the whole thing between Ronda and Triple H, you know, she actually picked him up. And that just was like shades of Attitude Era.
Ronda looked like a total badass, and I was marking out when Kurt Angle had the ankle lock on Stephanie.
Right. Oh my God.
This match was so good. And honestly exceeded all my expectations. Shout out to Ronda Rousey because she's gonna be a star.
So the next match on the card was another forgettable one. It was the New Day versus the Usos, who are tag champs, versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I was kind of upset there was no stipulation. None of the matches really had a stipulation, not even no DQ. They were just all regular wrestling matches, which leads me to believe that they're trying to copy a little bit more of New Japan, because also it was a very wrestling heavy event. I personally am okay with that. I like wrestling. I like the actual act of wrestling, but I know not a lot of people enjoy that and they kind of want some segments in between, but I personally was okay with it. But what did you think about this match?
This was honestly forgettable. I mean, Bludgeon Brothers have been squashing people for weeks. Here I expected an actual match. You could have had like the Usos and the New Day, you know, team up on them, which would have been what, a 5-on-2 predicament. But they didn't do that, and this match was given like 4 minutes. It was honestly a glorified squash match, and this is probably the match that I would say didn't really need a squash match. I think this is a match that, you know, we want to showcase the Usos because look at them, you know, they've never had a WrestleMania moment, and here it's just unfortunate that, you know, they were.
They're the best act too, in just the best act in SmackDown, best act in WWE. They're the reason that many people watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
So it was really unfortunate.
But the Bludgeon Brothers win the title, which is a logical decision. But still, I'm disappointed in this match, and the SmackDown Tag Division has done so much better. This was probably their lowest point.
So next was kind of a weird moment. We had Cena throughout the whole beginning of the show as, you know, an audience member, in which I enjoyed. It was actually really funny, just them panning back to him and his reactions to everything. But then you have a referee go up to him and say, Taker's here, and runs up the ramp.
Books it up to the ramp.
Literally, and changes into his Cena gear. And then he comes out to the ring. Another ref follows him. Taker isn't here. Elias comes out, which was playing mind games. You know, the lights went out.
That was like the biggest tease ever. And Elias was getting some mad heat. I know exactly why they did it.
But then we had some mind games with that hat in the gloves and the jacket in the ring, then disappearing. I thought that was pretty clever. And then Taker does come out, not as American Badass as we were hoping, but as the Dead Man. What did you think about, the match, which lasted not even 3 minutes, and just Taker coming in general?
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was, like I said before, I didn't want Taker to be here. I want him to enjoy retirement. You know, it made sense for him to retire after last year. But, you know, they did it anyways, and I don't think this helps anybody. Taker, John Cena. John Cena basically was in a squash match. Taker literally just did the squashing. So what was the whole point of this? I understand why they didn't advertise it because, you know, it was so short.
But also, like, the match itself, I was okay with it being 3 minutes because, you know, Taker, we don't want to make him look weak with the whole, like, because he's old, he can barely walk. But also just, I thought this was extremely unnecessary. I feel like, why? Last year, okay, the match wasn't great, but the ending was so sweet. And now he just leaves and, like, okay, he does this, and, you know, there's nothing to it.
Yeah,
there's no hat in the ring.
I understand Taker is WrestleMania, but at the same time, he could make an appearance without having to wrestle.
Right.
And him not being American Badass just did not make sense. I understand. I like how they did the whole, like, thunder striking or the lightning bolt thing, and then, like, the jacket disappearing, which I guess made sense. But still, I was not a fan of this, and honestly, if they're if they're trying to book another Taker match next year with him and Cena actually having a serious match, that's not something I'm looking forward to at all. So for me, this was a low point in the show.
So now for some positive, we have Shane and Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, personally, I didn't think this was a technical classic, and I didn't think it needed to be. I felt like it was nice to see just Bryan have his moment. I like how Shane just let him just have his moment. You know, it was a handicap at one point and for both people, and I enjoyed it a lot. Just seeing Daniel Bryan in the ring is all I could ever ask for. Hopefully down the line we could actually see some classic Daniel Bryan, of course, amazing matches, 5-star classics. But I just enjoyed it. So this is kind of when people say Mania goes from here to down here. I personally didn't hate this match. This is Nia Jax versus Alexa for the Raw Women's Championship. I was actually really looking forward to a cash-in, possibly. We didn't get a cash-in by Carmella. But what did you think about this match?
Yeah, I didn't really want to cash in because I felt like Nia Jax needed to get her big moment here after being basically bullied for the last few weeks.
Right.
And I think this is the match that should have been the squash,
right,
not the tag team match. Because, you know, these two, it only makes sense here
right,
to have it a squash. But, you know, I thought it was a pretty decent match for their standards. Not a classic and not really basically a pretty average match. But Nia gets the win, a logical booking decision again. But, yeah, it's good for Nia Jax because she actually deserves it. You know, she's someone who, this is probably long overdue. So I'm glad she did win in this match. Didn't do anything for me, but at least Nia Jax did get the victory.
Right. Now we get on to the bad decisions. And we have the dream match, the match that every single person and their mom has been waiting for. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Like, the match itself was not that good. It wasn't. And, like, the more it sinks in, the more I dislike it. Like, it just wasn't good. I feel like didn't get enough time. Even with the time they had, I feel like they didn't really use it.
It was the second longest match on the card. It got about 20 minutes. I don't think that's enough time.
Right.
But I do have to blame Shinsuke and AJ. If they knew they were getting 20 minutes, I don't know why they started off so slowly.
Right.
If you know you're getting 20 minutes, maybe you need to start off a little bit more fast-paced because you know you have some time constraints. I didn't think it told the necessary story. It was there was a lot of matches that were better than this match on the card, and for me, that was my main gripe with it. That the fact that the match itself wasn't great, because even though I really wanted Shinsuke to win, the whole heel turn afterwards kind of saved it.
I know, but still, the whole like AJ just winning really shocked us both, and I feel like it's WrestleMania. This is not the place to start building rematches. I feel like WrestleMania should be that big blow-off for everybody. What are they going to do next year's WrestleMania? Like, I don't really know.
I think it's only logical here to have Shinsuke and AJ main event Backlash and have heel Shinsuke win the match. And this time they'll probably get half an hour and it'll be so much better. I honestly was so disappointed with this. Maybe it's our fault for building it up so high. Side note, though, as well, I love AJ Styles. He's my favorite wrestler in the world at the moment. But, you know, the biggest stage, you expect something
right,
so much more. So I think all the comparisons with Shawn Michaels need to stop right there.
Right.
Because Shawn's last few WrestleMania matches were, like, outstanding.
Like, the first few with, like, the Rockers, okay, like, discount those.
Yeah, but I'm saying
everything else is amazing.
His second run, and obviously in his first run he had a few good ones, but in his second run especially, I don't think he had one bad WrestleMania match. I think his worst one was against Vince, and I think that was even better than this one, this
right,
AJ Shinsuke match.
But also, like,
you gotta perform on the big stage.
Right. But also, like, the whole, like, the heel turn, you know, with the low blow, that reminded me a little bit of Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 19, but also just that match was so good, and this is kind of like a shame to compare it to. Very disappointing.
But at least Shinsuke did turn heel, so his character is not just going to be stale babyface.
Right.
He's going to, you know, there's going to be a new dynamic, and I know, I wasn't watching New Japan at the time, but I know a lot of people that do watch New Japan, and a lot of people are saying that he was a fantastic heel. So hopefully we get to see a new edge for Shinsuke Nakamura. So
next we have probably the silliest match on the card, The Bar versus Braun Strowman and Nicholas. Now, personally, I was considering boycotting wrestling. Like, this is when you say wrestling is stupid. You show this to a non-wrestling fan and I think they will laugh in your face. I was really looking forward to knowing who this mystery partner was. Ever since they actually, like, mentioned it last week on Raw, I was extremely excited to find out who it was. They kind of left it off.
It's definitely one of the things I was looking forward to in this card.
Right, but it just was a disappointment. And I think he's, like, the son of a referee, I heard. Like, okay, and he won the tag titles, and he's the youngest champion. Good for you.
Honestly, it made the bar look really bad because they've been doing some fantastic things as well.
And they got squashed.
I think the tag division just got buried in this WrestleMania. Both of the SmackDown and the Raw titles. And I understand Braun was going to win relatively easily, but here it's just like, bruh, it was so easy. And this match got like a few minutes.
Like, what are they going to... Is the kid going to keep
I'm guessing they're going to strip Braun of the titles tonight. But still, honestly, this was really dumb. And... you could have had the revival there. Right. You could have had, Braun.
No, he, walked past, No Way Jose and a bunch of NXT stars, didn't even pick them.
Yeah, he picked a 10-year-old, and honestly, you could have had The Big Show. People were talking about Samoa Joe, they were all healthy, Big Cass.
Right. Jeff Hardy. He even said at the Hall of Fame that he was cleared to wrestle. Come on, Brother Nero.
So whatever, but...
Well, the last hour really was interesting. And for the main event, another WTF moment. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Every single person knew 100% it's going to be Roman. Everybody. We accepted it from day one. There was polls. Who's going to win, Roman or Roman? It was no question, but Brock picked up the victory. There was 5 F5s, which you actually mentioned how Braun only needed 1 F5 to put him away.
And just Samoa Joe.
What?
It only took 1 F5 for those guys, but it took 6 to put away Roman. So you literally just buried your whole main event division in Raw. At the same time, Roman, it only made sense for him to win because if he's not leaving the UFC, then okay, fine. But why does he need to keep the title? I mean, he's held the title for a year. And if Roman is your guy, then he's the one to dethrone Brock. Yeah. So if it's not him, who's it gonna be? And as for this match, it was so repetitive, typical Brock stuff.
It started off pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, but then it just went downhill really quickly. Roman got really busted up and just
the hard way too. So, and honestly, that was, I think, a pretty badass sight seeing Roman. Literally his face was all red.
It was a scarlet mask.
But having Brock win, for me, it just does not make sense. And I think Raw is must-watch TV tonight just to see, what's next for Brock, what's next for Roman.
Roman's probably going to go into, the women's division at this point.
I don't really know what the plan is. I think this main event sucked, and I think it was a terrible booking
I think that was one of the worst main events in recent history. That was just really bad, and I don't really know what to,
what's next for these guys. And I think this whole WrestleMania... They were trying to be unpredictable.
I know, and they just became too unpredictable. They heard our complaints, but this is not how to answer that.
Yeah, they went 180-degree flip.
Right.
And I felt that sometimes predictable is good, but
here, especially if it's the right decision.
It just doesn't. It was illogical. Having Brock win was illogical. Having Charlotte win did not make sense, or it doesn't do anything for her. So, overall, this WrestleMania, what did you think? All in all,
it started off really good, and it was that last hour. It lasted 8 hours. We started watching at 5, and it finished at 12 something. Long time, but it just, I feel with WrestleMania, you have to leave on a high note, or that taste will stay in your mouth. That bad taste. And I feel when I'm thinking of WrestleMania 30, they left us on a high note. Even though the whole streak and whatever, but this is I'm just disappointed. I don't really know what to tell you.
I think it was an average WrestleMania. I did have a lot of fun in some matches, but some matches really didn't make sense to me. So I would probably give it a C+ or a C. Pretty average for me. But from that stack card, I expected a lot better.
Right. We were actually saying this could be one of the better WrestleManias in recent history. Probably one of the best, but
yeah, I don't think it really topped 31, for example, which is probably one of the better ones. So tell us what you guys thought of WrestleMania 34 in the comment section below.
Don't forget to share, and subscribe to Rosie Wrestling, and we'll see you guys in our next video.